Welcome back to Noisy Ghost. This episode, we interview controversial performance artist Ann Liv Young.
Oh, yeah.
And she talks about her life balancing career with motherhood. And she talks about her interactions with audience members and how that bolsters or hinders her career as an artist. And she talks about stand-up comedy. And Andre, what else does she talk about?
Growing up in the South.
Growing up in the South.
We both came from humble beginnings and
humble origins.
Did you guys have those pants that are like they're ripped and they stop mid calf and then you have bare feet?
I think Ann Liv Young and I, when we were young, had to share a pair of overalls.
And not like
Even
the
though you
sexy
weren't-
overalls I have, like from the Gap, like
You
the
know,
ones
like
that,
sex overalls.
not like
Those
the
real slutty overalls.
no, like
the ones you wear so you don't
With,
get
like-
sex all over your clothes.
Yeah.
When you're sexy.
Yeah.
And then you have just one strap up, so like your boobs hanging out, just one side.
not like the kind of overalls I have where there's a third strap that just goes up your butthole just to
nice.
like let you feel at home. Yeah. No, you didn't have, you had the old-timey overalls.
I think there's a reason that people don't make a lot of sex clothes out of denim.
yeah.
It chafes.
Yeah, unless you're into that.
Yeah.
Unless you're into the chafing. Oh, yes.
I mean, every house used to have a chafing dish. Am I
You are right.
right?
You're definitely right.
What is that for?
It's the thing that you put food in and it keeps it hot because it's got a little can of Sterno underneath it.
Oh, that's what a chafing dish is?
Yeah.
But we also talk with Ann Liv Young about her experiences with audiences and her alter ego.
Yeah, would you say it's fair to say that her personality chafes the audience?
Definitely. Well, certain audience members. But the audience chafes most with her persona that she plays, whose name is Andre.
No, it's not Andre.
Her
I'm
name
Andre.
is not Andre. Her name is Sherry.
Yeah, and she's a therapist who wants you to share things.
Yeah, and she does something.
Sherry.
And she does something called Sherapy, which she sort of performed with me and Andre when we went to see her in 2013 in the fall in downtown Brooklyn.
At Issue Project.
Yes, where
It was October of 2013.
Yeah, and she asked us a bunch of questions. She picked us out, the audience.
She played a number of characters in that show.
But the main one was Sherry, though.
Did you guys know her at the time?
No.
I wouldn't say we know her now.
I mean, we talked to her, but we don't.
But you sat down for a face to face, but at the time you were just any face in the crowd.
It's true, yeah.
Well, I had heard of her reputation. She had done a number of performances that were written about in contemporary art press and in, people who had blogs about performance art and downtown theater and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people really sort of hate her, but that makes her a darling of the press as a result.
You guys, I have breaking news.
Breaking news.
I went to put this blanket over my lap, and I have reason to believe that this is my first encounter with a Snuggie.
Oh,
Is this
shit.
a Snuggie?
That might be a Snuggie. You
Because
might
I was
be
like,
interacting with a Snuggie.
because I literally was like, this blanket has a sleeve.
I think that's a Snuggie.
It's not.
on?
It's just a zip-up jacket with a hood.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so I'm using your hoodie as a blanket.
It's fine. It's
All
fine.
right. We now return you to your regular.
Our studio, the murder room here in our apartment in Chicago.
4537 North Paulina Street, apartment 1B, for all you axe murderers out there.
They call it the murder room because they leave all their doors unlocked.
Yeah, and it's
And their dog never barks at anyone.
it's
Never.
kind of cold here. It's late January in Chicago. It just started to snow. There's an enormous blizzard that has crept down from the north into the northeast, and it's going to be
Ravaging the East Coast.
Ravaging it sexually.
It's going to be dropping between 2 and 3 feet of snow on New York and Boston, and pretty much every airport north of D.C. is closed.
Which is where
for the next
Ann
few
Liv
days.
Young lives. Miss Ann Liv Young, we hope you are doing okay with your babies and your husband in Jersey City.
No.
Well, you can't be doing that good. You're in Jersey. Hey,
Oh, wow, that's a not safe joke at all.
Is it?
No,
Oh.
So in
I
her,
thought New York hated New Jersey.
it's okay.
in her shows,
I
she
don't want to be controversial.
she talks to the people in the audience and asks them about their personal lives, and then
She asked us how many times we had sex during a typical week, and we were like very honest about it. It was like, actually, she's so weird because like it wasn't even that awkward for her to ask us that. I don't know. It was weird. She has a way about people.
it seems like part of what she wants to do is remind you that performance art used to be a thing where you didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, she wants to surprise you, which is pretty refreshing, actually. But she, we talk about that more in the episode about what her influences are, her idols or whatever. But most importantly, we talk to her about, like, specifically her relationship to the audience. Like what it is specifically she's reacting to or against or wanting to create for the audience.
Yeah, and, as much as she claws at the audience to get them to respond, it seems like no matter what she does, the audience refuses to take the bait. And at each one of the shows that she does, it doesn't matter how outrageous she is, it doesn't matter whether she pisses on the floor or, uses racial slurs or,
transphobic slurs or whatever.
or does, any sort of thing, like even throwing stuff at the people in the audience.
And I was talking to a friend of mine about her most recent show, and this is one of the first questions I asked her in the interview about, like her most recent show is Ann Liv Young is in jail. She's being tried for her sins. She's in jail for her sins. And a friend of mine was like, well, I don't think it's very okay for someone in this particular political climate to pretend to be in jail, like when there are actual people in jail.
That's stupid.
I kind of thought I don't know if it was stupid.
Well, I mean, it's not stupid, but it is sort of like.
I mean, like,
isn't
what?
theater,
Just because something happens in real
Yeah.
life doesn't mean you can't do it on stage. Like, yeah, I get the politics of it. Yeah, I get that. But like, also,
being in jail
she's
is
not like literally people wanted her to be in jail. She's not like just doing this as like
Yeah.
a lark. Like people straight up have called for her and
But that's sort of a long-standing thing. Being in jail is like. That happens a lot in movies and stories and stuff. You know what I mean? It's not
right.
like,
But
we'd never talked about jail until now.
Right, but the point I'm making is that like people have actually critics and audience members have like called for her incarceration. Like they fucking hate her so much. That's how much they hate her. And it's sort of like she was responding to that. She wasn't just like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to be like Trayvon Martin or like, well, he never.
Well,
got
he
the
didn't
chance-
make
he
it to
didn't-
jail.
He didn't even get a chance to be in jail. But you know what I mean? Like. Wouldn't it be fun to pretend like she's responding to critics? She's responding to audience members in a particular way. So I feel like
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
more okay in that way. But
it's totally okay because that fits in like the idea of like be on trial in the media and that whole like sort of hyperbolic response to criticism. That makes sense.
Well, there's this thing when a person is a performer, where part of what they're doing up there is asking the audience for permission to be on stage, right? Like, somebody who is like a comedian or an athlete or an actor in a stage show or whatever, they have to rely on the audience to allow them to continue to do their performance. And so if a person is,
Are you okay?
yeah, I'm sorry. If a person is possibly guilty of something that makes the audience really unhappy, then
you didn't entertain me enough. Like you deserve to be
or something
put away.
or something
Yeah.
else even, like they could be guilty of being a woman, and then
Right, which is what she argues, I think.
like the thing that the Riot Girl rock and rollers were always complaining about was that the guys at the show would yell, "Show us your tits," like they weren't giving these performers permission to be on stage.
Yeah, but then in the meanwhile, they would totally show their tits.
Not all of them.
Right,
Excellent.
which is not which is by the way not an argument for like dudes to yell at women to show their tits. I'm just saying that this is like nudity and anger and
Sure, Courtney Love would take
performing.
her shirt off or, she would jump into the crowd and they would rip her clothes off. Mm-hmm. And maybe that wasn't what she had in mind.
Right, yeah.
But, when you want the stakes to be higher in performance, part of the thing, what are the stakes? Like, what are the stakes that we're talking about? We're talking about whether or not the audience is going to let you do your show.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I think this is the thing we sort of talk about a little bit with Ann Liv, is that, like, when she gets naked in her show, people will be like, oh, that's so, like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. It's, like, so the norm now in performance art to take off your clothes. But I think that her nudity, coupled with the way she hurls insults and the way that she's just so violent in a way that's so openly unsexy, is incredibly offensive to both men and women who go to see performance art. And I think that's what I really respond to in her work. And the way she responds to heckles, is so important to me.
Yeah, I think you want your performer to be good at dealing with hecklers, right?
Right.
Because it's sort of like a test.
That's like a magician.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like someone that can handle hecklers, you're like...
Well, it means you're a good writer, I think, ultimately.
But it also means that you had good reason to put faith in this person. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, if they can handle the heckler, then that means that it was a good idea for you to like them. Right? Your faith in this person has been redeemed.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were talking about before... I was having dinner with some friends recently, and we were talking about faith and religion. I think that applies to the heckler thing, right? Because that's like someone that's not agreeing to the liturgy or whatever. And so if someone can handle that heckling, that's like proving they're worthy of your faith.
Right, and we talk about this in the interview too, where we talk about Ann Liv's response to other artists, where performance artists are like, oh yeah, this is fucking performance art. Like, this is live theater. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what it used to be, in this like ahistorical nostalgia that we've cultivated. It used to be that you could disrupt a performance, and that was part of the performance, and that's what it is to be live. That's what liveness means.
For a long time, not even just like a downtown New York thing, not even just a theater thing. Like when the guys from what were they called? Act Up.
Yeah.
When they would go to Catholic Mass in the late 80s and spit
that's what fucking performance
communion
art
out
is.
onto the floor, and then the guys. So how are the priests dealing with their hecklers? They are scooping the stuff up, and then they go and eat it later.
Well, that's what I love about that too, is that like it assumes that Catholic Mass is performance art in the same way that what they're doing is performance art, and it's like 100% accurate, I think. So I think the heckling, is a crucial element to her act, and as actually partly constitutive of it.
Yeah. There was a guy, Bill Cosby, comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was this guy. What was his name? Oh yeah,
Phil
he was a Canadian comedian, or he was performing in Canada.
No, he's American, I believe, and he was performing in Canada recently. And a young woman got up in the middle of the show, and Cosby asked her where she's going, and she said she was going to go get a drink. And he said at the time, this was only a few weeks ago, you got to be careful drinking around me.
Which is like, I can't tell if this is the most brilliant thing in the world or the most evil.
Well, he got cheers and he got boos and he got, claps and laughter. And
so is this really good performance art and terrible ethics? Is that
no,
what
he was just showing off the way in which he's untouchable. The way in which there are always going to be people who are like, well, it's Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
Well, what's the setting? I mean, people are always getting up during performances. I mean, like if this was a club or something.
Yeah. It's like when we went to see Aziz Ansari in like the fucking middle of the city, and it was just like everyone got up between jokes to go get drinks.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you could go to a rock concert, and even when they're like rocking out, you still see people are like.
I know, it's so gross.
It's not that gross. It's just when you have a lot of people in one place, like if you have like the life of the crowd where you have everyone singing along, but you also have someone that's like, after this next song, I have to use the toilet.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like this merging of partying with
Well, that's what happens when you don't
being an
respect
artist.
classical music anymore, where you sit
I know.
with your hands folded.
This is what I sound like. This is what I
No,
sound
but
like when
I
talk
mean,
about this.
on the one hand, I think that's what's cool about classical music, but on the other hand, it's like, it's fucking rock and roll, man. Like, you don't tell me when I'm going to go pee.
I know.
I'll tell you.
It makes sense
after this song.
that Cosby would go and perform in Canada because, you'd have to pretty much go to the most polite place on earth
Right.
in order to find an audience that wouldn't be willing to disrupt your performance. And still somebody ended up, making the news.
Right. Well, it's also like, but I mean, the thing because I brought up that scenario was like, that would be really weird if you're at a large venue and the comedian like sees someone getting up. Like, that's just that. Yeah, it sucks, but that's people get up during shows,
Yeah, but they're getting up because it's like they want to spend money.
Right.
They need to spend money on drinks to like feel good about anything.
But it's not like she was in the front row with her arms folded and then she got up and like huffed out and was like, I'm walking out on this show. She's like,
Yeah, I know.
Though
I got to get my drink on.
I've been at comedy shows where I ended up sitting in the front, not for any reason other than that.
Wait,
that
did you
was
say you've been at comedy shows or Cosby shows?
comedy shows. I've never been to a live taping of the Cosby Show.
Oh, man.
And, for whatever reason, I had a sour look on my face, not because I didn't care for the
Oh,
comics
yeah.
or, but just maybe I was in a bad mood that day. I have often been known to indulge in a dark mood, where there's some sort of a metaphorical cloud hovering over my head, raining little teardrops on me all day. And, if I go to a comedy show and I'm not laughing a lot, sometimes the comic will, get upset.
Yeah.
And
Should I tell my comedy heckler story?
No, because we're running out of time.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for listening to Noisy Ghost.
Meow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Noisy Ghost. I am here with performance artist Ann Liv Young. Hello.
Hello.
And also with Andre.
hey,
And we're here to talk about her work, and her most recent show was at Jack, where it was you were in prison and you interacted with people in the space.
Yes.
And you were in character as Sherry.
Sometimes. I was like a somewhere between myself and Sherry.
Somewhere between yourself and Sherry. How's that work?
For that show in particular, I didn't want to go full Sherry, mostly because all of Sherry's tools really revolve around kinesthetics and getting really close to you, and
It's more of a choreographic character, and you were in prison, so it's difficult to do that.
yeah. And I also just wanted to try portraying some weird side of myself, or some warped vision that people might have of myself. So that was my objective. So I didn't fully go into Sherry. I remained kind of in this place in between the two
Liminal space.
characters.
What did you think of the politics of doing a show where you're in prison, considering the recent anti-cop young black men being gunned down or being put in prison all the time? What did you think of that?
I mean, I wasn't really in prison. Clearly, it was
Yeah.
it was a hand-built cage, mostly made out of plastic and wood, a little bit of metal. And for the first show, there was no roof. For the first show, there was no lock on the door. I mean, I had water, I had food, I had my computer. I could get out if I wanted to. So I don't in any way think that I was in any sort of real prison. I didn't feel even like I was trapped, because I knew if I wanted to get out, I could. Either breaking the bars or just telling Michael, can you please get the key and let me out? I mean, in a way, I wish that I had felt more, I wish they had kind of gone further with.
But that wasn't your choice. That wasn't up to you. That they had free reign to do whatever they wanted with the space.
Alec was the person it was his concept, and the person who owns Jack. And I agreed to do it. However, in my mind, the cage was going to be metal, and I was really going to be trapped.
Right.
And the second night, they did put a roof on it, and they put a lock on it. So
Okay.
it was less easy for me to get out, but I still could have, because I could have still said, Michael, can you please get the key? But he was really clear, please don't try to get out, Alec.
Right.
So, I think his whole thing was like, I do think he's a supporter of mine. I don't think he's against me, but I think his whole concept was, this is what people want to see. They want to see you like in jail. They want to see you punished. So let's give them what they want.
But like with you in there with food and water and with the computer, did you think that people were actually feeling that you were punished? Did that work? Was that effective?
I think it's like, for me, when he proposes this idea that I'm going to be punished, that he's going to punish me, I feel like he has to be more assertive in his guidelines and his rules. And no one ever said I couldn't have a computer or a microphone. So I just, I wanted to make a show. So I did whatever I wanted to do unless someone told me not to do it.
You just
basically
you use the limitations
exactly
as just the best that you could.
Exactly.
I suppose.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had fun. It was great. I didn't have a difficult time at all. I didn't feel, I mean, it's a little stressful because I have a little claustrophobia. So there was a moment where I was like, okay, is this going to cause me anxiety? But, once I start going, your adrenaline kicks in and you're fine.
Yeah, I've spent some time in Jack before, but I didn't actually see your show, but I went to a show at Jack recently, and the only other time I've been there before is when I used to babysit for a little girl, and I used to take her to music together in the Jack space, and it was such a weird environment there because it's sort of a small space, and it has like this weird tin foil all lining the walls, and that's like their like aesthetic, I guess, and we would be there and we'd be like singing lots of songs and like dancing around and moving, and it was such a weird experience because I think it was great for the kids because they literally couldn't go anywhere. They would like put a little thing up around even in that small space. So already like a cage for children, and they were fine with it. Like already Jack seems like such a small enclosed space, and then to like put a prison inside of it seems like, I don't know, it seems even weirder to me.
It was pretty weird. It was a pretty weird show.
Yeah, but it was pretty successful. People liked it. Do you think it sort of soothed the worries of or eased the anxieties of people who wanted you to be punished? Do you think it accomplished that? No, I doubt it did. Yeah.
No, I think it made people probably angrier because people that don't like me, which there are a lot of them, normally don't come to my shows anymore.
Right.
So I think most of the people that came are either supporters or were just curious or read about it in Time Out and wanted to go see, some interesting event. I think people that really should be seeing the work a lot of times aren't the ones seeing it.
Who are the people that should be seeing the work?
I think, in my opinion, the people that, are so against
the
Sherry character or I don't know. I mean, I think Sherry's kind of the one that presses the most buttons.
Did Andy Horowitz come out?
No way.
No way. Bummer.
No way.
I wish he'd come out.
He never would. He won't. He's in my opinion, he's too much of a coward.
You think he's too much of a coward?
I do. I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
Andy Horowitz, if you're listening to this.
I challenge him. I challenge him to come to my next show.
What is your next show?
My next show is at Joe's Pub in April through May, and it's an Electra cabaret.
Ooh!
So we've made Electra. We've premiered it at Steirischer Herbst in Graz, Austria, and now we're making a cabaret version, kind of a nightclub version.
A nightclub, and Sherry at a nightclub.
Sherry is not in it, so this is why he should come.
Yeah,
he has no reason to be afraid. I've actually never met him personally. I don't think. Maybe I have, but I don't know. But he's the one that wrote that crazy article that was completely false, completely fabricated. None of the things he wrote actually happened in the room. So I have real issues with people that do that.
Which performance was that?
The Rebecca Patek show.
There's this phenomenon I read about recently where like it's someone I know called it, Hitler was an asshole too. Right, and the phenomenon is that we all know that Hitler was a douchebag. Like he did a lot of really horrible things, but people like to add things about like how he treated his wife, or
How did he treat his wife?
Like,
do you know?
I don't know, but people will be like, he was abusive to his wife,
Okay,
or like
okay.
he kicked dogs, or he
Right.
did this and this and this, because we need these like mundane, specific details in order to really vilify somebody.
Right, of course.
You know, which I find sort of fascinating, because it's never like, you can never just be like, yeah, he murdered thousands and millions of
Right.
people.
That's not enough.
It has to be these mundanities that get people, and I think that that's what happens with your work sometimes, is that people are so upset by the general premise of it,
Right.
that they need to fabricate or
Oh, yeah,
find
of course.
something that's mundane enough that they can sort of take home.
Of course.
And I think that might be like, oh, I was reading, I don't know, last night in preparation for this, I was reading an interview you did with the Brooklyn Rail about like someone made up that you threw something at them, but it actually just was intercepted by
Right.
her head, you know?
Exactly. I'm so very sad about that still. I actually did throw a necklace, but not
That's
at
what it was.
anyone. It was a necklace that was my mom's. It was very special to me. And I was like kind of ripping my clothes off and passionately, sort of in protest to these drag queens that were kind of insulting Sherry. And Sherry was like, but you're doing to me what society does to you, which is why you are dressing up as a woman, coming here tonight, performing at this event. Why are you doing that? And I threw my necklace on stage. I threw my clothes on stage, and Jerry Visco like stood up just as I was throwing it, and it hit her in the head, and she filed an assault case with the police. I think she's a wonderful person. I have no issues with her, and I think she's fine now.
Yeah.
But that was like, I think that was a while ago when she was, I don't know why she did that.
I don't know.
Maybe she just wanted some press.
Maybe.
I was wondering, in general, how do you feel about heckling, either if it's coming from the stage at the audience or from the audience at the stage? Because it seems like theater has a very different relationship with that than, say, like stand-up.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have no issues with heckling, and I'm very used to it at this point, because a lot of the work that I make and have been making over the past few years is very audience interactive, and so I assume there will be hecklers. I mean, you know, I remember when I was working with RJ, who was managing us for a brief period, who has Louis B. James Gallery. You know, after that whole incident happened at American Realness, people called him and said, you know, you need to not represent her anymore. How would she feel if people interrupted her show? And he was like, have you been to her shows? I mean, have you seen almost every single Sherry show I do? It's interrupted. I'm attacked, which I'm not saying like that's bad. I mean, it's provocative work. People get upset. I'm completely ready for it. I don't anticipate that it's going to happen. I don't try to make it happen. I'm really making the work that I want to make. I'm really asking questions that I feel should be asked. And, you know, what happens. I feel like all of the people that I work with are trained in safety precautions. If someone does get out of hand, we know what to do. And honestly, we're the ones that have normally kept people safe in situations that have gotten out of hand.
What sort of lineages or histories or icons do you draw on when you're thinking about how your work affects the audience or interacts with the audience? Are there like people you look up to that you're...
I mean, I wish I could
citing?
say there were people. I've really tried not to dive too much in performance art history or anything like that. I mean, my mom is one of the main inspirations of the Sherry character, both my parents actually. And the audience interaction really came from, I think, studying so much theater. You know, there's this fourth wall that you sort of always have to adhere to, and I think I just became tired of it. It just felt natural to me to do something else. And Sherry is it's like you sit and you do this work for people and you're looking at them and they're looking at you, but you have no verbal interaction. And I think it felt very natural for this character in particular, Sherry, to start having verbal interaction with the audience and being able to touch them and, you know, ask them questions and listen to their answers.
Because that was the problem you felt with shitty art, is that you can't, it's always protected by the these institutions and by the fourth wall and by like the prestige of art itself. So the idea to me, from what I get from your work, is that there's this sort of falling down of these barriers that prevent art from being what it should do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I think dance is very different than theater, I guess, and that's very different than performance art. Mm-hmm. But when I look at something, I really just think of it as live performance, no matter what it is. If it's a painting, and so when I see work, I feel like I take it very seriously. And, me as a person, and that particular show, I was viewing it as Sherry, which is a whole different thing.
Right. No.
But yes, I think that people often are way too protective of what they've made. Yeah. In a way that's not good. I think being protective of what you made is can be a great thing, but in a way that's hindering the work. I mean,
right.
It's like, what are you trying to do? And I was actually thinking about this the other day. So her show was about rape, and she's been raped. Word on the street, she actually has been raped. So she's making a show about rape, but it was in a very light, it was in a comical way. It was almost like she was making fun of being raped. And so when I was playing Sherry was kind of entering it in this way of, okay, you're making fun of being raped. You know what I mean? It's like, how is she allowed to make fun of being raped, and Sherry's not allowed,
right,
to kind of play the same game in posing her questions? It's like, I mean, I'm sure people would have a million
because the politics of femininity. There's like this weird, like, kind of femininity that you perform that is threatening to people, and I think that maybe if you're more dancerly, you can sort of get away with that stuff. Because American Realness is a dance show.
Yeah, I think it's mostly dance.
Yeah. I think that there are certain, due to these disciplines being separated arbitrarily, certain disciplines or art practices get certain privileges that others don't. So like you get to be cute and fun because your art is serious as a dancer.
Right.
And what you do, performance art, is perceived perhaps to be self-serious,
right,
and therefore has certain limitations on it.
Yeah, I mean, it did feel very much like she was like, no, you can't do that. You can't interrupt this. But I guess those just aren't my rules. I mean, yeah, I guess dance, which is one of the problems that I have with the art form now in 2015, it feels like a lot of those people just take it way too seriously when they're doing the same thing everyone else has done for thousands of years. I just think make something new, make something different, make something interesting, ask better questions, like try harder, work harder.
What was the question? I mean, what are the questions that you're trying to answer in your work?
I mean, I don't really know if I'm trying to answer any. I think I'm trying to ask a lot. I think Sherry works a lot with race. I think she works a lot with sex and power and control. And, Sherry's always dividing the room between the gay people and the black people and the white people and the mixed people so that she can approach them and sort of attack them individually and really work with them, because she feels like your history is such a huge part of who you are today. And that's not because she feels like these people are better than these people. That's because she wants to accurately work with them.
Right.
So, that's one big thing.
So she's interested in separating people just into discrete categories.
Yeah, I mean, Sherry is like a huge contradiction. She's, I always tell the story of my great grandmother, who was, I guess, like 93 when she died, and she was one of the most racist people I've ever met in my life. She was also one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, and I remember growing up and being like, how can she be so ignorant and so kind?
Right.
And so I think I realized that people are just very contradictory at a very young age. And that was one of the big things I wanted Sherry to be when I was making the character. I wanted her to be a contradiction. And that's, people always say, but Sherry said this, and then she said this. Well, Sherry's a character. Sherry's not a real person. Right. So those are questions she asks. I mean, I think she asks a lot of questions about psychology and social stigmas and
Is she a parody of psychology, or is she a critique of psychology?
I mean, I think so. I think she's both, because she gives therapy, and I think it's good therapy. I mean, it helps people, but she's also sort of saying in a lot of ways, like, why can't you help yourself? You know, like, why am I a necessary part of this? Why can't you use your tools? You have so many.
Because she perceives herself as a necessary part of this. Yeah.
I think she does, and I think she doesn't. I mean, I think sometimes she is like, you don't need me. Like, why can't you do this on your own? This is not hard. You know what I mean? I think she's just very challenging in every situation. She challenges.
I went to the show that you did at Issue Project, and I've had opportunities to talk to people that were at a few of the other shows that you've done recently and not so recently. And, people talk to me about the anxiety that they feel when they're in the audience about, oh, don't pick me, or, oh, what's she going to do? Or, am I going to feel bad or whatever? And I wonder if you could talk for a little bit about what you believe the stakes are in a contemporary performance space. Like, can bad things actually happen in a space?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it depends on what you define as bad things. I mean, I know that people have gotten very upset and, left, and they're like, I mean, I just don't think anyone's really scarred for life from what Sherry's doing, because I think what she's doing is actually good for you. She's getting you to say things that are difficult for you to say, and that's not a bad thing. It's not bad to try to say something that's hard for you to say.
Is that inherently good, you think?
I think it's inherently good, because if something is difficult for you to say and you genuinely feel it, even if it's, I want to rape children, it's good that you say it, that you get it out, and then it's out of you. And then I think like a healing process can begin.
There's more room on the outside than on the inside, right?
Yeah.
This is so Aristotelian. So. Like, you're so invested in catharsis. It's
I mean, my partner is like a hardcore philosopher, and who plays Thomas, Sherry's like assistant.
Right.
But I'm not, I mean, I haven't studied philosophy. I don't even really read ever. I wish I did. I mean, I read books to my children, but I don't read like philosophy books. Yeah, I don't know. I believe that it's inherently good to say what's difficult to say, even if it's painful, even if it's terrible what you're saying, because you feel it, don't you? It's inside your head. You're thinking about it.
Yeah.
You did it.
So it's sort of didactic too. You're edifying the peoples of New York City and Brooklyn and wherever you go. How does your work go over in Europe compared to here? Do people sort of laugh at it, or like is it more funny to them than it is here, perhaps?
I mean, I feel like we're much more supported in Europe. People really, like the institutions, for example, are a lot more supportive. They pay to fly us to Europe, and they pay us money to do shows, and that's how we make a living. So, and that's mostly because in Europe, the government has a lot of money to give to these institutions, and the institutions have pretty much free reign to book what they feel is important. Whereas here, culture is not a huge part of our upbringing. You know what I mean? It's just not a big part of our society.
Well, yeah, like because certain art practices are privileged over others, and performance art is very much at the bottom of the thing.
Well, now you say that culture isn't a big part of, but I presume that you mean high culture.
I mean, I mean, like, for instance,
because kids are constantly engaged in culture in a variety of ways from the moment they're born. Like they're.
But they're not going to the opera.
Sure, no, of course. So high culture.
Yeah, I mean, like in Europe, if you're an artist, or even if you're like poverty level, there is access to, say, like the opera. Like, I think if you're an artist in Europe, you get a pass for you and your family to go free to the opera.
How do you prove you're an artist?
I don't know.
You show up with like a.
You probably have to fill out some paper. With that would be amazing if you had to show up with a paintbrush. Yeah, you probably have to fill out some paperwork and prove that you like do a certain amount of shows or
So
something.
elephants can go to the museums if they prove they're an artist in Europe, you know?
I don't know how many elephants there are in Europe.
That's true. It's a good point. I wanted also to take this opportunity for this podcast to apologize to you because I said a really stupid thing at your show at the Issue Project where you came up to me and Andre and I was like, this is performance art. And I'm so embarrassed that I said that. Like, I was like, you're doing...
I don't even remember. Tell me what happened.
What happened? You came up to us and you were like, how long have you guys been together? Like, whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, and you asked me a question. And I was like, said something about the fact that you were doing performance art. And I'm so humiliated that I said this.
I don't even remember it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you don't remember it, but it was really embarrassing.
Were you saying like, were you upset?
No, I wasn't upset. I was just like acknowledging
just making a statement.
I was just acknowledging the fact that this was performance art because I was like, what was going through my brain at that time.
Great. That's great that you did that.
And you were like, there's no fucking performance art here. Like, it was really funny, but
see,
it was...
This is Sherry.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. But it was like, I feel really embarrassed that I said that. And then Andre gave me a hard time about it afterward. And I was like, oh God, why did I say that?
I think it's great that you said that.
Okay.
Just let it go.
Thank you. Thank you for being kind to me. Let me think. I want to ask you about... I feel bad, like a bad feminist for asking you about this because like I would totally never ask a man this, but I would ask a man this. How does your role as a mother affect your work?
I mean, it makes it a lot harder to make things for me, especially since our second child, because she is a wild hyena and she's now, I mean, like last night she didn't sleep hardly at all. She doesn't really sleep much. She has a lot of energy.
How old is she?
She's 2.
Just 2.
And the older one is 7, and she's very mellow. And she's very zen-like. And the little one is like high energy. She has a lot going on. So it's really hard. I have a really hard time making things in this city since I've had my second child. I mean, I make something every day, but I make a lot of like tangible things now because I think it makes me feel better that I have to be making something.
Like put an object into the world. It's like, I did this.
Yeah. And especially when, I mean, I'm like raising them and that's my main priority. And I love them very much despite what people write about me as a mother. Even though they've never met me, those people that write that.
Right.
I mean, yeah, Michael and I both sort of said, if we're going to have kids, we're going to like make our lives work for them. And we spend a lot of time with them. We see them every day for a while. And we put them to bed and we don't have like a nanny or anything like that. So how has it affected the work I make? I mean,
do you make different choices?
Definitely.
Like aesthetically or just like
I think they affect every part of me. They affect what I make, they affect what I wear, they affect how much I sleep, they affect what I eat. I mean, Lovey is the older one and she wants to make a play. So she's just started her first play where it's about unicorns. She's writing it and it's a cast of 4 women. And
I'm on board so far.
It's pretty amazing what she's writing so far. And it's very complicated because she uses her unicorns as the characters and we use them in our hands, but we're covered in material that makes us look like we're bushes holding the unicorns. Yeah, I mean, this is good. It's really amazing. So I'm trying to help her.
It's very Tina Satter, actually.
It's so nice, and it makes me so happy. And she is so hardcore about event planning and follow through. I mean, the child's dedication and work ethic is kind of unbelievable.
Right. I feel like I had a stronger work ethic as a child than I do now. For sure.
It's interesting.
Yeah, like because I wrote a lot of stuff because I wanted to do it. Yeah. And now I like still want to do it, but I also like want to see what's going on. Oh no, they didn't. Like, I don't know.
Right. You want to do other things too.
Yeah. And I feel like there's that monofocus that's so great for children making art.
It's so nice. And the school she goes to is amazing. It's an arts-based, started by the Blue Man Group.
You got her. Wait, really?
Yeah.
The Blue Man Group started a school that your child attends, that Ann Liv Young's child attends.
It's an amazing school. And she goes there and she loves it very much.
Cool.
So I'm trying to help her. Basically, I'm going to be in the show, but I'm going to be like her dramaturg basically, and I'm going to help her book it
Cool.
at festivals. And I'm trying to really give her like free reign.
So you're
let
like
her,
the producer and also the dramaturg.
Exactly.
Nice.
Just trying to help her like edit and really figure out what do you really need.
Kids need editors. It's true.
I mean, she probably doesn't, because I'm not really into dramaturgy, but I don't know. I just think maybe it could be helpful, but maybe I might get in the way. If I seem like I'm getting in the way, I'll step back.
What about the 2-year-old? What does the 2-year-old do? Tell me about your 2-year-old. This is just the show about Ann Liv Young's kids.
Her name is Akiko, and she is in school 3 days a week. She goes to an amazing Swedish school, and she loves. What is she? I mean, she's just wild. She has a lot of energy. She loves her older sister, but she's a little aggressive with her. She wants her space. She wants to copy her, but have her space. She's like finding her sort of autonomy right now, I think. And she speaks very well for a 2-year-old.
Nice.
And so that is...
people tell Andre that.
Yeah. You do seem like you speak well.
Thanks.
And she loves to paint. She loves being outside. I think that's maybe her favorite thing, being outdoors. She's really funny. She's just like, I think, a natural, funny person.
Yeah.
She's just hilarious.
Wait, how do you think, do you have any interest in like stand-up comedy? Or
Totally.
Like, is that like...
I should have gone into stand-up comedy.
Yeah, you would be able to, you would get away with so much fucking shit.
Yeah,
if you
I should have done that.
It's not too late.
You know what? I had an audition for SNL when I was in high school.
Really?
And they were interested in me for voiceover work.
You could have been the Don Pardo.
And to this day, I think to myself, why didn't I do that? Why? Because I was like, no, I'm an artist. I don't do that kind of stuff. I was really like hardcore about not doing anything commercial and like really making all my own work. And I didn't even really think of, I'm an artist, but I wanted to be like, I was
you
like
wanted to be in
purist.
charge. Yeah.
And to this day, I think that was not a smart decision.
But you were also in high school. It's okay. Like I just think like...
Should have done it.
There are performers that are making the change over to a more stand-up oriented medium.
How do I do that? I need to do that.
You just got to go to a bunch of open mics and you got to like get
I think you can probably
ingratiated.
skip the open mics.
Yeah,
what do I
right.
do? You guys, because I need some career advice.
Neither of us are stand-ups. We just go to see a lot of stand-up. I just think
That's
the
amazing.
best performance art I feel happens like in the mode of stand-up comedy. I find
Definitely.
I just haven't seen like any like performance art that's like as good as like someone just like making weird noises on stage as a stand-up. Like,
I think
don't
that's
know.
awesome.
That's how I feel, at least.
Maybe you guys could give me some things to go see. Because don't you think Sherry would be an amazing stand-up comedian?
I think Sherry already is a stand-up comedian. That's what I think Sherapy is.
Yeah.
Sherapy is stand-up comedy to me. It's just like in the Todd Barry mode where it's just like interacting with the audience.
Why do these boundaries exist between the different fields? What do we benefit from having them?
I really think it goes back to this idea that when you live in Europe and you're a child, it's like art is art. And when you live in America, art is such a commodity because it's just not supported or funded the same way. And so it's put into these categories so that people can like access it
so
more
people can
easily.
buy it easy,
and it's ridiculous because it doesn't do it any justice, in my opinion.
So these discrete boundaries exist because of capitalism.
That's my opinion.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense to delineate art making practices in terms of categories because then you can figure out what you need and when.
Yeah.
But it's not a purely capitalist system, though, because there's one big thing that makes it different, which is that the people who are providing the product are happy to do it for free.
Well, that's a sort of recent, historically a recent event.
The thousands of people in New York City who are, acting in shows and not being paid.
Oh, yeah.
Like
or
the Flea, right?
Working as unpaid interns, or all the people that were working on Speakeasy Dollhouse who weren't being paid anything.
Right. I guess what I mean is it's like you have Broadway and then you have like off Broadway and then you have dance and then you have performance art and then you have fine art and then you have like video art.
Right.
And then you have sculpture. And literally in Europe, I mean, I'm doing a show in Poland in the summer where I'm performing at a huge music festival where
Wow.
like Smashing Pumpkins has performed, and it's just not, there are not these boxes.
They don't care about it.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, this is a huge music festival and we're going to have a bunch of artists perform.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do maybe with this like frontier spirit of America where like you have to chart new ground and you have to like own, like it's like making things into territory, into something to be conquered.
Right.
And I think that there's this approach that a lot of artists have in New York. I found that like, oh God, like, you figure out, oh, well, I did stand up, so now I can be in movies.
Right.
Like I figured out stand up.
Okay.
I figured out how to do that, so now I'm going to be in this family friendly movie.
Yeah.
And then you figure that out, and then eventually you go on and you are in an Oscar movie, and then you're done, and then you make $1 million and you're fine.
And
like
then
there's this sort of like trajectory.
Yeah, there's definitely a
for an
trajectory.
artist. Like you conquer the different mediums in order to make money.
But there could be an issue here with reproducibility, right? Like one of the things that all of the art forms that are so oriented toward prestige in New York have in common is that they're fascinated with the aura of the artist creator,
Right.
and they reject the idea of infinite reproducibility, right? Like you might be able to make a bunch of prints of a painting, but that's not the painting.
Exactly.
Right, and you might be able to make a recording of a live performance, but that's not the performance.
Oh yeah, it's reifying the individual subject, whereas maybe in Europe they're more community oriented. I feel weird talking about Europe like this like this, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Great.
Oh,
You should keep doing it.
I know people from Europe.
From the Europe.
Yes. The well, like with movies, you can like every movie, every disc, every reel, every little MP4 file, they're all identical to each other.
Right.
Right. So, because you can market it to a massive audience, you can market it to millions, literally millions of people. That's how it becomes mass culture, and that anything this could be true of, but it's the people that are responsible for creating a market for the thing that decide that they don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying about opera.
Yeah.
Right. Opera.
Nobody wants opera, but whatever. A few people want opera.
Yeah.
You were in opera classes, and you sang at the opera when you were a little girl.
I was in the lyric opera children's chorus as a child in Chicago,
so
and I loved it.
There was
awesome.
there was a thing at some point where people valued opera.
Older people in Europe love opera.
It's wonderful. It's
All the people
love it.
here love opera. I still love opera.
I would like to take my children next week to the opera.
What opera will you take them to?
I don't know. Michael's really into opera.
Opera's pretty good.
Oh, we just saw an ad for a show that they're doing right now at
Opera seems to me like
the Renee Fleming show.
Well, she's in everything, because this is the point I was going to make. It like opera is even more in like a microcosm of like the American celebrity system than even Hollywood is, I feel like, because there's like you're only allowed to have like 3 opera stars. Mm-hmm. They all have to be white. Mm-hmm. There's like 1 dude allowed and then 2 women, and none of them can be fat anymore.
Yeah,
unfortunately, because that was like the best part of opera, was that like really fat women could be like and everyone would be like, oh my god, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Jane Eaglen, I feel like, was the last opera star who was allowed to be fat, and now no one.
But I thought they were heavier because of their diaphragm.
Right. There's a number of myths around this, because some people, my voice teacher when as a child told me her theory, which is that opera singers become fat because when you're an opera singer, you're terrified of getting sick. Because if you're sick, if your voice is gone, like you have no career. Like you can't perform. So they spend a lot of time at home. Okay. And a lot of people, when they spend, also they're artists, so like anything else, they're anxious. So they become anxious eaters. Okay. So you're home all the time.
And you're eating.
And so that's why. Okay, and then there's also like this sort of myth about like their diaphragms are like larger or something, which is not true.
Okay.
Because then like you think about.
That always seems strange to me.
Because like look at like Natalie Dessay, who's like this, which is why she's so famous, because she's like this tiny little pixie woman who can sing like a her voice is like a bell.
See, I thought it was because of the costumes, because the larger they are, the more costume there is.
The more costume
that
you
way
can have.
You can see it from the back row.
I guess
That's
the
a
thing
good point, too.
I've always associated like facially, and we're entering the realm of like phrenology now, so this is all myth and not to be taken seriously, but
It's to be taken seriously.
thank you. I think that there's a thing, the only facial or body thing that opera singers have is I feel like they have really like long jaws, like wide jaws. I don't know. Maybe
I've
just from
noticed
opening
that,
their mouth.
too.
Maybe just from opening their mouths so much. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it gets stronger.
Yeah.
So they are putting opera in movie theaters all over the country and all over the world.
That's awesome.
Doing live stuff, and I wonder why there is so little attempt made to push the downtown New York experimental theater product,
Yeah.
which is, as you were just saying before, incredibly commodified.
Yeah.
It's marketed to hell.
Yeah.
Like, especially right now with the festivals going on and the NAPAP happening.
Yeah.
Why not make a greater effort by the people who are making the work to gain control of the way in which it's commodified?
Yeah.
Why is all of
That's
the
a great
commodification handled by administrators and curators and critics and everybody except for the people who
are making it
and who are never really getting anything out of it apart from the opportunity to perform and make somebody else rich?
Totally.
So what are the boundaries there? What are the barriers?
I mean, I think it's really hard to market. It takes a lot of time. And you really need a publicist, and they're expensive. And I mean, for me, I feel like I know a lot of publicists. I know a lot of writers that write for like relatively large publications, but a lot of times like Interview Magazine, I don't really know if they want to write about what I make. It's like, it's possibly offensive to them. I know someone was interested in me being in Vogue at one point, and they were like, no way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I want to see like a GIF set of Anna Wintour looking at your headshots or whatever.
Be amazing.
That's all I want.
So I don't know. I mean, we're trying to make a TV show. We've been working with this producer who's made a reel, a Share-It-Be reel.
Who's we? You and
Michael
Okay.
and myself. And this woman and of course her production company has said it's too risky for them. But now we're trying other production companies, and we're like just trying to pitch it ourselves, like set up meetings and go in ourselves with like, this video.
But why would you need a production company? It seems like there's been a lot of success stories lately of people creating the media for themselves. Like, for example, Broad City. I mean, it started out with just two women who were improv comedians making videos on their webcams.
Did it start as a web series or no?
It did start as a web series, yeah.
See, I don't know a lot about this. I mean, I haven't done so much research. I think mostly what I'm used to doing is making something, and then someone writes me and says, I want to book this thing that you made. It's like that my strength is really making the
just
thing.
Just winging it. All right.
And I'm not, I mean, we don't book ourselves as much as we should. We don't do as much marketing as we should. It's like Michael and me raising two kids and doing this stuff. So,
but much of it depends on whether or not people are offended by it, which is so upsetting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I feel like just a lot of people are offended by what I make, but I think a lot of people also aren't. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to start doing stand-up shows. I think that I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to like an open mic, like you guys said, and just as Sherry,
go to the one, the Creek in the Cave.
Okay, that's great. Freak in the Cave.
Creek in
the Cave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, and I've also been thinking about going on auditions as Sherry.
That's a great idea.
Like for movies and TV shows, because I studied acting, and that's like my true passion is acting. And I mean, my true passion is really like making things, but I love acting. And we also want to pitch a show where it's like you have sort of a backstory of where Sherry came from, and Sandra Bernhardt plays Sherry's mother. who actually is interested in this, which is
I
great.
believe it. Yeah.
She was recently on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's doing all right these days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's Brooklyn? Is that a TV show?
It's
a really funny show.
Half-hour sitcom
Oh,
with Andy
that's
Samberg
awesome.
on Fox.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We just saw her perform at Joe's Pub, and
The New Year's show?
yeah,
Yeah, we went to that. We went to that last year. Yeah.
Oh, she's great.
yeah, she's great. She was great. So we're trying to do different things because we don't want to tour as much. It just gets exhausting, and I want to. I don't know. I want to get another dog,
You should totally get another dog.
but I don't want to leave the dog to tour. So
If you got enough dogs, they could look after each other.
that's a good idea.
It's a really
Actually.
wise choice, I think.
You could just leave them to,
Just get a whole bunch of huskies and then,
leave them in the house.
well,
They can even babysit your children.
I could just leave my kids with them.
they'll herd
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll herd them. The kids could ride them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get Malamutes, definitely.
I love large dogs.
Yeah. I love all dogs. I wish we could have a dog as a guest on the podcast, but I don't think that would work. Just
That's too bad.
ask them about the dog experience.
Have you heard this thing that Malamutes do where they talk to you?
Oh yeah, they
No.
like imitate human speech, sort of.
Right, they have this thing that's like weird and it was actually George Lucas when he was young. He had a Malamute and he based the character of Chewbacca on his
Oh
Malamute.
my God.
And the way that the
That's
Malamute,
amazing.
what they do is that they'll walk up to you and they'll look at you in the eye and then they'll go woo, woo, and then they'll stand there waiting for you to answer them.
That is so nice.
It's so good.
I love that. Michael got a Chewbacca this big for Christmas.
Ooh.
A really big one.
From you?
Yes.
From you? Nice.
Not from George Lucas.
I
Or
know.
J.J.
That would be
Abrams.
amazing. No,
I would like
Michael loves Star Wars.
I'd like to see a George Lucas directed Ann Liv Young show. I would watch that. I don't know.
I
if
mean,
he's
I
much
would love
experience
to
with
work
theater,
with some
though.
of these people. I think a lot of these people would really like what I make.
I totally think so. I think like
but I think they just maybe don't know about it.
They just
It's
don't
so
performance art seems low on George Lucas's radar.
yeah.
Well, there's another issue, which is that there's this reputation that the kind of work that's done in New York has outside of New York, which is that it's obscure, it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
That it's like you have to be a part of some kind of a fun club. When
Right.
when Ben Brantley reviewed
prestigious.
Seagull
Yeah.
for the New York Times, I remember he said, "I feel like I'm not in on the joke."
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about contemporary visual art.
I hope that's not how the Sherry shows feel though.
No, this is why I wanted you on the show, because I don't think any of those. I think like your work tests that.
Yeah. No, I would hope so.
And I like that it tests like institutions as like monoliths that are like protected by the state. Like I like that it's just
But there's also a way in which every medium has a certain amount of instruction.
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
Right.
There are people that get musicals, and there are people that
but performance art gets a really bad rap because sometimes it's awful. Like
well,
sometimes
a lot of times it's awful.
exactly like
90% of everything is awful.
I know
Yeah,
you say
I
that all the
think you're
time, and
right.
I think you're right. But like, why is it that performance art gets the brunt of this? Like,
It's low budget.
Yeah.
there are lots of women involved.
There's not a
Yeah.
lot. There's no
Lots
spectacle
of gay
to
people
distract
and
you.
women.
Yeah,
And a lot of trans.
yeah, a lot of trans folks.
Some black people.
Some black people.
Though not,
There's some
not so
black
much
people
in New York
involved.
these days.
No.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It is written off as I think trashy a lot of times.
Really, I think it's written off as being like pretentious.
Okay, maybe it is.
I think that's what the
Maybe
issue
you're
is. People are
right.
like, it's because in the sense that
I think my work is trashy. That's why I said that.
Yeah. I think your work is definitely trashy, but I think pretentious is like the word lobbied about, which is to say that people feel uncomfortable around it.
Okay.
Because like Andre is this
Well,
thing.
they feel uncomfortable about their intellect.
Yeah, I think performance art makes people feel dumb
Okay, yeah, I think
because
you're probably right.
they are dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel dumb watching performance art, and I feel that's fine because I feel dumb like
Sometimes
90%
it's
of my
okay
life.
to feel dumb.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, especially like the way that they react or their relationship to the community of New York, if you're not in New York, is those are the people that are super duper smart
Yeah.
and they have all the culture and we're a bunch of dumb hicks
Right.
And
That's how I feel about Boston.
And so if they do something and we don't get it, then that means that we're stupid and they're
Right.
laughing at us.
And I guess this is another reason why like Beyonce and Lady Gaga and Katy Perry rip off a lot of the
Oh, yeah.
performance artists downtown.
Oh, it's been going
art
on for
scene.
decades.
Well, Lady Gaga
music
used
vid-
to be a performance artist, right?
Did she really?
I think
People say
she
that,
used to
but
perform in drag clubs and stuff.
She was an undergrad at NYU, was doing
I
weird
never
stuff.
saw anything she made.
She
I
was there
never
briefly.
even heard of her. Never heard of her. I think they might have just made that up
Maybe.
to make her seem more.
There's a video of her performing at the Blue Note in like I think 2003 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So maybe she did it one time.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's impossible to say.
You would think that they would want to call the performance artist and be like, "Do you want to make this with me?" Or, just to make it more
Kanye does.
interesting.
Kanye does because
Really?
Kanye...
What does he do?
Well, back when he did My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he worked with Vanessa Beecroft.
Oh yeah, but Vanessa Beecroft. That's
I know she's
so
a blue,
different.
she's blue chip. She's huge. She's been a big star for
and
decades.
she's like she's considered a visual artist.
But back in the 90s and the 80s and the 90s, there were all these music videos being made, and a lot of them, when they weren't, some of them were directly just ripping off performance artists like Valley Export, or they were ripping off video artists.
Yeah.
But sometimes they would just bring those artists in and have them make work.
See, I think that's what they should be doing.
Well,
That's really
That's the way to sustain this field.
exactly, and also that's like that's more.
It's cheaper
like,
to rip
that's
it
more
off,
of a
though.
risk. Of course, it's cheaper to rip it off, but come on, they can afford to take a risk and like work with an artist. I think Beyonce ripped off that whole Anna Teresa de Kiersemacher thing.
Wait, what?
And they settled in court.
Oh, for that the video with the dancing in the
Oh, Single Ladies?
No, not
No.
the Single Ladies video for the
You're saying the video with
Countdown.
the dancing. Oh, Countdown. That's my favorite Beyonce song, actually.
and
Yeah,
the
it's
video is gorgeous because it's identical to
Identical.
a piece of video art
Oh,
that
really?
that was created by a dancer.
Oh, I think I remember this controversy
Yeah.
happening.
And she, Anna Teresa de Kiersemacher, got a lot of money from that settlement.
Good for
Well,
her.
it was
it's
it's numbers on a dial. Like, how much are you going to rip off the
Yeah.
artists?
Right.
Like,
So that you don't get caught.
That's the reproducibility thing you were
right? If
talking about.
she had just ripped off her and like 3 other people,
Yeah.
then you could say, oh, I'm, this is fair use. I'm appropriating images from the culture in which I exist. This is a comment on the
Right, of
medium, but just recreating it without even attributing. I mean, she just did it clumsily. She wasn't the problem.
I think she probably didn't even know who it was from. It was probably some.
Oh, I think she knows. I have a lot of faith in Beyonce's intellect and her awareness of the world around her.
They go
That's
out of
good.
their way to give you the impression that she's incredibly involved in the filmmaking.
I don't believe any of it.
I watched that documentary she made.
I
I
watched
watched
it too.
all of her things.
and she's
Oh, you
sitting
did?
there at
Yeah.
Final Cut Pro making.
You think
her
it was
selects.
posed? You don't think she knows?
I don't think she's super intelligent personally, and I don't think that a lot of these ideas are her own. That's my opinion. I think that she's.
You think she's being marketed as this
totally
this all person, this
Definitely.
Uberfrau.
I mean, people are like, you have the same amount of hours in your day as Beyonce. Like, that's this new quote. And it's like,
Oh, really?
Are you kidding? She is.
She has at least 25 hours.
Yeah. And she has so many nannies and assistants. And she's in great health.
Have you read her
She's got
diet?
Jay-Z there, and
She just
Jay-Z he's great with the kids.
He's so great with them.
he described. There was an article they wrote that described her diet, and it was like, oh wait, I don't actually want to be Beyonce. She's like, I start the day off with a single egg white. And then later on, I eat some watercress. Like she eats like a goat or something. Like and then I eat a couple napkins, and then I work out. Like it's.
See, I even think that's probably fabricated. I think it's all just a show.
I don't know what.
That's my opinion, because I don't know. I just don't. I don't believe her. I don't believe that she's in control of everything that they want you to think she is.
Maybe.
It's nice that she's in a position where she creates this image for the world, where if what you want is to believe that
I believe in the image. I do.
If you want to believe that she's capable of these things, because then that gives you strength, and then you're able to attempt things that maybe are outside of what you can do.
Well, Beyonce's like Santa Claus.
But then on the other side, if you're like, I don't want to believe, because I want to be critical of the media apparatus, and I don't want to take for granted everything that's fed to me. And, if these gods are presented to me as being, better than me, then I don't want to feel insecure or inadequate just because I don't live up to what they're telling me I want.
Yeah.
Then, she is so much that she can do both of those things.
Well, I just think if she was a true hero, she would do things like not take the images of her like this singing off the internet, like not have her publicity team.
That was the most disappointed I've ever been in
remove
Beyonce.
that stuff. And then also she would come out and say what happened in the elevator. She would be like, look, my husband's cheating on me and it's really difficult. And my sister confronted him. I just think like that is, that changes the world. That changes.
I understand what you're saying, but I just think that Beyonce, like I was trying to say that like Beyonce's like Santa Claus or like God in the sense that like you, like Andre's saying, like you can choose to believe in the image or you can't, whichever is most convenient to you. Like she's a floating signifier. Like she can be whatever you want her to be. You can do what you're doing, which is believe in the apparatus, which is that like it's fun to watch her videos, it's fun to do this, you watch the documentary, but like but ultimately it's all a dumb show. Or you can be me and believe in the image so fervently that it's like upsetting to hear that she could be anything else,
Totally.
And I feel like,
and that's nice that you have so much belief and will.
I do. I have a lot, and I know it's a ruse. I know that it is, and I don't
in your
care.
Heart,
I don't care. I'm like, it's like,
well, it's probably a third thing, right? Like
it's always a third thing.
If it's either it's all
mix.
true, or it's some giant conspiracy and they're smarter and better funded than us, or it's something else, like part of it's true, part of it's a lie, and maybe there's stuff that we're not picking up on. Like like the people who complain about the conspiracy theories about the government, like how they're controlling the weather and all this stuff, but like
I believe in that stuff.
There's definitely stuff that they're doing that we don't know about, and there's definitely stuff that they're doing that they're fucking up really bad. But it's impossible for us to know the difference, and that's the problem, right?
I think it's fun to speculate, though.
Right.
Sure.
To try to figure it out.
Do you guys think that because there's so much stuff about the Illuminati and Beyonce, do you think that any of the Illuminati stuff is true? Because people talk about it enough that maybe there's something there.
That's just branding.
You don't really?
Yeah, that's...
What if there is an Illuminati, though? I think about this sometimes.
It's a fantasy that people have because they want to believe that somebody's in charge, but nobody's in charge. Everything is a giant fuck up. Nobody has ever done anything right.
You remind me of my uncle.
He gets that a lot.
Well, if we're both from the South, maybe we have the same uncle.
My uncle's called Ty.
Mine's Paul.
Okay.
My uncle's called Bill.
Similar names.
Listeners,
all of them.
Please email us with the names of your uncles.
So I was going to ask you guys a question. So at these open mic nights, do you have to actually have jokes prepared? Is that the whole thing?
Well, ideally, but I've seen a lot of shows where they don't.
They give you 5 minutes. You do what you want.
Okay.
It's an open
that's
mic.
Awesome.
You just have to sign up ahead of time.
Okay, you have to sign up. And is there an audience there to watch you?
Mostly it's the other people there at the open mic.
Yeah, it's like weird if you're not part of the open mic to be in I've been to open mics and people are like, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know.
A handful of people are there because they're too cheap to buy a ticket to a real comedy show.
Oh, okay.
Some of the people there are bookers.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Booking agents.
Or just, people who run a comedy show and they're looking for somebody to book for their show.
Okay. I was asked to be on America's Got Talent.
Oh my God.
Like 2 years ago, and I couldn't do the audition because I was in Europe. They were like, "Can you come audition?"
Humble brag. Yeah.
And I was gonna do it as Sherry and like do the whole thing. I mean, that would be so amazing. But I think they maybe
they figured it out. Or
yeah,
something.
I think they figured something out.
My biggest dream for you.
Yeah, tell me because I need some. I need some
is
inspiration.
for you to be on Dancing with the Stars, and I want you to be paired. But I can't decide if I want you to be the celebrity or
the dancer
because I think it could be amazing either. Because I'd love to see you dance with I don't know, Tay Diggs or something.
Yeah, and I'm like a pretty good dancer.
I know that you're a pretty good dancer.
And now I'm on this crazy diet, so I'm gonna look really hot by the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
In one of those dresses.
Yeah.
Oh, Peyton Manning's retiring, so maybe
you and
maybe
Peyton Manning.
But no one knows who I am, so how could I even get on the show?
This is why I think maybe it would be best for you to approach it as the dancer rather than the
movie star.
Yeah. That would be so good.
Tay Diggs' kid goes to the same school my daughter does.
And Adina Menzel's kid, their kid together. How's that going?
I don't know. They seem fine. They're always sitting together, and they seem very nice to each other. And but is he on Dancing with the Stars now?
No, I just literally just like the first celebrity name. That
I
popped
would
in my
love
head.
to dance with him.
Yeah.
He's super cute.
Yeah. He follows me on Twitter.
Oh my God.
I don't know how
Good
that
for
happened.
you.
No, Tay Diggs follows everybody on Twitter.
Yeah, there was a big joke
he
where he
does.
like he didn't understand how Twitter worked, and his like publicist had to like intervene because he was like literally following everyone back. He's like, no, you have to stay
I
cool
follow
and aloof.
everyone back too.
Really?
I do that.
I don't think you follow me, unfortunately. But you just mostly just post like Instagram stuff, right? I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah. I noticed that. I did a lot of research last night.
It's a visual medium, the internet.
Is it? Yeah.
I'm all about visuals.
You're all about visuals. Is that what it says on your CV?
That's what it says on my CV. So it's called, what's this thing called? Not Freak Cave.
Oh,
The Creek and the Cave.
Creek and the Cave.
It's in Long Island City, right?
yeah, we are plugging the shit out of the Creek and the Cave.
The Creek and the Cave. Okay,
Yeah,
I've got to get prepared for this.
They have an open mic on Sundays.
Can I audition for Dancing with the Stars?
I don't know how that whole process works.
I need to get like an agent, like a proper one.
Do you have an agent? No.
No, are you kidding?
No.
That's amazing
You should
that you
get-
ask that. No, we do everything ourselves. We're
Yeah.
crazy people.
That sounds exhausting.
I mean, we tour Europe. We make like plays and tour Europe. That's what we do.
All right. We're coming up on our time, so I wanted to ask one final question. What do you think the biggest thing I see in reactions to your work, and really all work in general of this type, is people get offended. Do you think, and this seems to be like the worst thing that can happen to any as a reaction to art, like does it offend you or does it not? Like that's the barometer.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is bad. I think that there should be like something else that we feel.
Mm-hmm. There
What do
probably is something else we feel. We just don't know we don't know what to call it, because I think a lot of people just aren't super in touch with themselves.
Really? So I guess work can make you cry, or it can make you laugh, or you can feel offended. What are the
Or
other?
you can feel nervous, or you can feel anxious, or you can feel like, I don't know how I'm feeling right now.
I feel like
but
I
I'm
never feel
feeling
that way, though.
something, and so I'm going to tell you that I'm offended.
So that's
That's
what do you think is
normally
the real
what happens.
thing? Is that being offended is the name for something else that you're experiencing?
Definitely. Oh my gosh. I remember I was doing Cinderella in Dresden, and this woman was like flipping out on Sherry. And she was like calling me fat, and pretty much any derogatory thing she could think of, she called me.
In English or in German?
In English. And
More frightening in German.
yeah. So then I started doing the same thing to her, like just like, telling her off and all these horribly
I love
mean
that you remember
things.
the biggest thing you remember is that she called you fat, which is I've had that experience too. Like someone will call me like a fat cunt, and I'll be like, I can't believe you called me fat.
She called me, she was like, the only nice thing about you are your legs. I mean, she really went into like detail. And I remember, so Sherry's method
That's
was, I'm going to
hilarious.
do the same thing to her. And she started crying, and she got so upset. And then it was this beautiful moment where Sherry sat down with her and was like, it's okay. You can push through this. You can work through this. Give me your hand. And Sherry like totally helped her work through it and figure out what was she really feeling. And she was really feeling confused and scared and anxious.
Wow, that's amazing.
Sherry's a healer.
She is a healer. And thank you so much, listeners, for listening to Noisy Ghost.